Hey, this is Allie and welcome to day 15 at December Daily for 2017. Today I am tackling a story related to home, and so this is one of the pages that I did in the product play workshop, which is still open for enrollment. If you want to jump in there, you can see a bunch of different ways that I set up my album pages that I did in advance, things that would get me ready for the actual documentation portion, some of the crafty work doing in advance anyway, but that is still up if you want to see the specific process and how I set this page up originally. So what I have here is it becomes like a little book, right, in and of itself. So here's the title, which is For the Love of Home, and then Home. For those of you that are Story Kit subscribers, this goes right along with our theme this month, which is For the Love, and that's not intentional necessarily, it's just a phrase that I like to use. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to add the date on here, probably either with the cork or the black chipboard numbers. I'll decide between those two. And then I'm going to be adding a photo right here and then a little bit of journaling on the other side. I also think that I'm going to add a photo to the back as well today, and then I'll be ready for the next day tomorrow, which most likely will be a Star Wars related story because we're going to see Star Wars tonight. So we have tickets for that. But when you're watching this, I will have already gone. So it will be, and then you will see my story come up. So thinking about home, thinking about taking pictures around my home. I've already included a few pictures that I've taken of decorations. So what I decided to do was go take my camera and my tripod and take some pictures of myself standing at my front porch. And so what I've been doing so far is I've been printing out these pictures and attempting to get the sizing right for how it will fit on half of this heart. And so literally what I've been doing is printing it out and then seeing how does it fit, you know, how can I get myself to fit into half of this heart? And the reality is that I'm probably too close. I was too close to the camera originally, but I'm gonna make it work. So here, part of this I want you to see is that I often have to print things multiple times to get them right. So I don't want anybody thinking that I'm just doing one print. Yes, this is, you know, however many times I had to print it to get it close to what I wanted, which isn't ideal, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. So I had a couple shots. I also have a shot that I thought was funnier of me like peeking around the corner, but you can see I got lots of trees here, right? I like to have all of these fake trees with the white lights on them in the house. So I kind of like that in this shot you can really see that. So I'm thinking that this one will end up being what I put on the back here. That's kind of what I'm thinking, is I'll put that one on the back and I'll put the one of me just standing up right here, and then I can talk about home. And what I'm going to talk about actually is being a homebody is kind of what I think. So I'm considering putting like body on here too, like homebody, but I may just write about it here. So that's kind of that's my starting point. So I'm going to be dealing with cutting out the heart, and what I did, and those of you that were in the product play saw me talk about this, is I kept a sample of this heart, the size, so that I would be able to use it as a template when the time came to tell the story for this day. So that's just what I'm using, just a heart that I cut out. So first up for me is going to be deciding on what number I'm going to use, because I am going to put a 15 on here somewhere, and then cutting out the heart. So I'm going to go ahead and gather up those numbers and then start cutting. All right, so I am going to go with the 15, and I briefly thought about embossing it or doing something else, but I think because it is up close or next to an already pretty brightly patterned paper, I'm just going to leave that and just leave it black here on the number itself. And so I'm just going to add this on there, and I think that I'm probably also just going to take a peek at some of my word phrase stickers and see if there is one that makes sense to add onto here, either maybe on top of the 15 or above or below, or I just may end up leaving it like this too. So I'm gonna leave this page, I think, and then what I need to do next is deal with how I'm gonna do this inside photo. So when I am doing something like this and I am trying to get, like I kind of want my feet in there. We're gonna see, this may not work exactly how I want it to. We'll see if cutting off part of my body there, is that gonna be fun? Is that gonna look weird? Okay, so I guess if I get it right there, it still cuts a little of my foot off. When I think I'm gonna try, let's try it right here and just see. When I was printing these out, what I was doing was I was changing the size of the picture to try to get it closer to what I wanted it to be, and just adjusting the sizing before I printed, as well as recropping and trying a few different things. So this is part of the process of experimentation, essentially, right? Of that I'm kind of doing things on the fly. I don't know exactly how they're gonna work. I have to reprint things to try to get it right. So it's not, these are not effortless activities. And one tip I would have for you guys too, especially if you're doing something like this, and I should be doing this anyway, I don't know why I was wasting all that photo paper. I think I just kept thinking I was gonna get it right. One of these times was gonna be right. But it kept, what am I trying to say? Oh, what I should have done, sorry, I lost track of my thought, was just be printing it on scratch paper, essentially, so that I could get the sizing right first before I actually printed it on photo paper. So something to think about as you're doing it is you can just print these out on, you know, a quick like draft print to be able to see what's your placement gonna be, and then you can actually just print it on photo paper instead of wasting photo paper like I did. So just something to think about there. I think this is gonna be fine, and partly the reason why I think that this one is gonna be fine is that the one that I'm using on the back will show more of the trees and stuff there, so you'll get kind of a full picture on the other side, and this kind of gives the same idea anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this into there. And also, that's one of the reasons why when I'm taking pictures, often I take both close-up and far-away shots. And the reason why I do that is because that allows me more opportunity to make a variety of different choices when I am printing things out. So sometimes I may want something that is super close up, and other times I will want something that's farther away, and I don't always know until I'm working in my project. So in this case, because I was doing it by myself and I just set up my tripod and turned on the timer and just was trying to get this done in the morning time, I didn't take the time to reset the camera up farther away to take another shot, and I think that this will end up being just fine. You can go into and trim off any extras, because again, this isn't going to be perfect. So Tracy, if you're watching, these are not going to be perfect, so I think that we'll all deal with that. I know that I will. We'll deal with that too. Okay, so, and then I think I'm gonna try to get in just a little bit on this part, but we'll see. Sometimes it becomes risky. There, just to cut a little bit more of it off there. Okay, all right, so there we have, yeah, you're gonna be able to see. There we have this part, and you can also do things like, you know, adding stickers on here or whatever other little things you may want to add. So I'm going to add my journaling on there, and then I'm going to cut this one out, this picture here, and adhere it on the back side. And I like this one. I feel like it's playful and funny and something that I am not always known for. But the people that know me well say sometimes that I actually am funny, right, Katie? So here we go, just cutting it out, trim, 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 using the template. the heart, the already cut out heart as a template. And coming up the other side, and I'll come back around there as well. Okay, so I hope that you guys are enjoying these videos, and I hope that they are helping you think of stories that you might want to tell from your own life. And I hope that they are reminding you that that this does not have to be a complicated project, right? That it's really about looking for the stories that you want to tell about your own life and your own season right now, rather than maybe what everybody else is doing, because our lives don't look the same and we're all in different seasons, right? Different seasons of our lives. So you got to embrace the season that you are in right now. Okay, let's take a look here. So this again is going to be the one that goes on the back side of the page, and I'm just going to adhere that down on there. And I think that this is totally fun, and I love just cutting it out, cutting that heart out. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that right down on there as well. So fun. Okay, let's see if we can try to just get it as close as possible. It's all, again, not going to be perfect, which I am okay with that. All right, so now what we have is this little heart storybook that starts with the 15 and for the love. And I already have an Avery index tab here because I want to put something in there too. And then I am going to tell my story there. And then on the back, I have this. So I'm gonna look through my embellishments and see what else I want to add to this one. All right, so as I was looking through, I was thinking that this would be a fun thing just to add right on there. So I'm gonna do that. So this is one of the gold foil circles, and I'm putting it on top of the Joy chipboard circle. I'm just putting some adhesive on there. And then I'm just gonna stick this right down here in this spot, somewhere around right in there. There we go. And then I am going to do my journaling right in here. Let's see, what pen do I want to use? This is a thick one. I'm gonna see what I got. All right, so then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna date stamp this one too. Right up at the top there. Okay, so tip for you. One thing to remember is to check your pens. This is actually a brown pen. I thought it was black. It was brown once I started writing it, and then I was like, fine, who cares? But something to think about as you are doing that yourself. I think that I am also, let's see, I'm gonna figure out, I wanna put some kind of a stamp inside there, some sort of, what do I wanna add in there? These would have been fun too. I love those things. Okay, so let's see. Let me pull out some other stamps here. Okay, I'm pulling out this is I think it's called the Daily. Let's see. The Daily set here, and I'll link that for you guys. I think this is the one that's out of stock, but it will come back. Okay, this one says I want to remember, and so I think I'm gonna put this one on this side. Actually, you know what I could use? some of you guys will. The For the Love set has For the Love of on it. Maybe I'll use that. That could go on this side because that's repeating again what I have right there. This one's pretty small, but let's try that on one side. Yes. So that works good. So that's the For the Love stamp set, which is the current story stamp subscription right now. And then on the other side, I think I'm gonna put around here. I Want to Remember out, but I think I'm just gonna put around here on there. My story basically there, as you guys saw, was just about being a homebody and loving being home and happy about that, and also about how the kids' last day of school is today, and this year they're going to be here the pre-Christmas week, so we switch off either before Christmas or after Christmas, and so this year I have them before Christmas leading up to Christmas Day, so they'll be here Christmas Eve, and then half of Christmas Day. So we're looking forward to that part. So I'm kind of getting excited just to have them all here, or most of them, for part of that time. Let's see, this one's just there. All right, so For the Love of got stamped on there, and still have this. I still wanted to look at the word phrase stickers and see if there was any that I wanted to add on here for that. And then I was gonna look on here, maybe even just this one, something like that. Moving this, even if it was just in the middle. Thinking a little bit about that. I wanted to look at the other ones that I had too. Magic Moments. I think this one's kind of, that one's pretty big. That's also kind of fun too. I kind of like that. This one is from the chipboard set. Yeah, maybe I'll put that on there. Let's see. I also wanted to see if there was anything that I wanted to add on here. Maybe this one that just says Season of Stories. Something else. I just feel like it needs some, I want to add some other something on here. I think that would work on there. Sometimes we think way too much about these things, when the reality is whatever we have right there would probably be just fine. I think though that I do want to add another one of these. I added these gold stars on there yesterday to my thing yesterday, and so I think I just want to put, what about these on there? Yeah, so this is a great example of just like sometimes wanting to add a little bit more. See, if it's up there, it doesn't really count. But you guys know, or many of you know, that if I add one of these, then I'm gonna feel like I need to add more of them. Because I'd like to have a few. So maybe we'll do 3 across here. 1, 2, and 3. Something like that, or maybe just down here. Or do we need it? Maybe it looks, oh, maybe I like it right there, so it's like balanced with the other side, and maybe I don't need a third one on here. Let's try that. Come on, glue. There we go. I'm gonna do that so where it's almost like directly across there. Whoops. Stay down. Okay, let's start with that. And then I'm just gonna leave the home like that, and then we have this. I think that's good. And then let's come to the back page, and I think we'll add the Magic Moments, and I think that I will add a gold star onto the chipboard too. right? Again, it's just like one little added something on there. A couple years ago, I did a page that's still probably one of my most favorite pages, which was me when I was decorating, putting up the outside lights, and it was all about magic being something that you make and how we can create the magic for ourselves. Like if we're waiting for somebody else to create magic for us, that's probably not the best path when we have the ability to create it for ourselves in our attitude, in the choices that we make of how we experience the season, like all those kinds of things. And I think about that a lot. You know, even just like this, having a dumb little photo shoot with myself was fun, and it felt festive, and it was a good way to kind of ground myself in where I'm at right now and what's happening around here right now as my story for today. So there you go, that's day 15, and I'll be back here again tomorrow with day 16, which, as I said, will most likely be a Star Wars story.